You know, it sends some sort of signal message, so to speak, but it's not a big deal because this photo was taken on a Tuesday, I'm assuming, which was yesterday. And it's the middle of the week. Usually the fans start to really pour in toward the end of the week, where they really just pour in. They've only been in camp, I think, since what, the 24th, 25th, something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not, if you showed me this next week and it looked like this a couple days in a row, then I'll be like, damn, the Cowboys have lost that America's team glory that they once had. It's not that big of a deal. Am I worried that people don't want to go because of Jerry and the Cowboys? No, I'm not at all. Because you can take the same picture today and it may be crowded if they're practicing today. I don't know if they are, or whenever on the weekend, because I'm sure they'll have practice on a Saturday or a Sunday, and it's going to be packed to the rims.
Yep.
And on top of that, Skip, you got to think, although there's two other teams outside of the Chargers and the Rams in Southern California, you got the Saints and you got the Raiders. Although you can't, as the public, go down in those areas and watch those teams, you can still watch the Chargers and you can watch the Rams. So that may be a little bit of that too, because before, when the Cowboys first started coming back here, when I was playing for them, Oxnard, there were no other teams in Los Angeles. So everybody would just go to Oxnard to watch the Cowboys. Well, you got other options right now with the Chargers and the Rams. And if you wanted to drive down to Orange County to take a look at the other teams over a fence or something like that, I'm sure you can. But I'm not worried about, this is not that big of a deal to me.
All right. So, Keyshawn, for 20 years, I attended Cowboy camps. Mm-hmm. They were in Thousand Oaks, which is out near Oxnard, a little short of Oxnard, out here in Southern California, and then St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas, for quite a number of years. So I went to, hundreds of these camp practices, all of which were open to the public and to the media. And it was a madhouse every day. It was chaos. It was rock concert. It was mega whatever. However many people you could sort of shoehorn in there, got in there. And they're selling merchandise and soft drinks, and they're just, it's craziness out there, and it was loud. It almost felt game loud to me because they would cheer every catch, every tackle, and whatever. Okay, so that's my experience with this. And The Athletic also reported on this, so it wasn't just Mike Leslie and WFAA. I think there's some significance here. I'm not going to overreact to it because you could be right about that. Although, hey, in my experience, Tuesday was Saturday, was Monday, it didn't matter. But people came out.
But you also got to realize now, Skip, the rules have changed at the style of practice.
Yeah.
I'm not driving from Los Angeles or wherever to go watch somebody run around in T-shirts and shorts for an hour and a half. Yeah. I'm just not going to do it.
Lord. Yeah,
back then,
the Landry Jimmy days.
That was
full scale
football games.
Yeah, they were
playing two football games in a day.
Yeah, and they were long football games.
Long football games.
They'd go 9 to 11, and then they'd go 3 to 5, and it was 2 full hours.
And that was the same way when I was with the Cowboys. It was packed to the rims. No, it was standing room only.
Yeah.
Because I was with Parcells and they was watching people get slammed to the ground.
Okay, I got you. But now I'm going to speak as lifelong diehard Cowboy fan. You have heard me again and again and again sit in this chair through this offseason and say, I'm trying and I can't. I want to go and Jerry won't let me go. Because a year ago I sat here and said, Super Bowl, here we come. Because I love Stephon Gilmore and I love Brandon Cooks. Those were sweet little moves that could put you over the top. And then I had to sit through All In. And we were all out. Through the whole free agency, we were all out. We got Eric Kendricks. And then
the immortal.
Yeah, the immortal Eric Kendricks. And then I had to just sit through a draft, which baffled me because it was lackluster at best to me. Maybe it'll turn out to be great, but I doubt it. And then I had to sit here the other day and listen to Jerry's State of the Union, and it's the biggest bunch of double talk I've ever heard. I'm all in. I'm all in. You're all in how? I can't remember what he said, but it was something about he's all in on Dak's final year of his contract.
Well, they're negotiating again.
Supposedly.
That's what they say. What do you mean, supposedly? The guy's changing proposals.
Yeah, I tend not to trust anything that comes out of those mouths until I start to hear tangible. Like CD. Okay, so the crusher, like this is a soul crusher for me. I've told you all last year, CeeDee Lamb, I got one baller on this team, and he is a baller. And I thought he had the best year of any receiver last year. I can back it up with stats.
No, you don't need to.
Once he took off after the San Francisco game. I love his body language. I love how he catches and runs with it. It's with authority, where when I see it, he passes my eye test. And he's still sitting at home on the couch without a deal.
Or sitting somewhere.
Wherever he is. God bless him, wherever he is. But it's just wrong to me. There's a way to get that deal done on time and get him to camp. And it's easy for me to say, but I watch all these other teams do it. I see DJ Moore sign a big record contract with the Chicago Bears, big extension, and it's just one after another. Dominoes fall everywhere. No dominoes have fallen in Dallas because obviously there's no CD and no Dak, and obviously Mike seems like he's on the far back burner right now. Okay, so when you haven't done anything appreciably to get better, when you're going to start potentially a rookie at left tackle and a rookie at center, what am I supposed to latch on to? What do I get my arm around? Trust Jerry?
Trust the team. Trust the process. Trust the general managers. Trust the president of the team. Trust the coaches. Trust.
Okay. Trust an owner and operator who has not lifted my team into a NFC championship game in 29 years.
I would argue with you and say that owner, operator, general manager, personnel, individual has put quality players on the field, quality players that have gone on to become all pros and pro bowlers or whatever the case is. Collectively as a group, there's something that has been missing for them to get over the hump.
Something missing at quarterback and at head coach. That's what's been missing because those are the two key figures.
It's not about the quarterback all the time, Skip. The quarterback didn't play well against the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. Okay, we know that. Okay, it's clear. He didn't play well against them. The team didn't play well against the Green Bay Packers. The team.
Yeah. So, seriously, the farther away I get from that debacle of a football game, the worse it looks to me because it's a game in which heads need to roll after the game. Somebody needs to pay for it because you can't be the 2 seed against the youngest team in the playoffs, the 7 seed, and be down 27-0 before halftime. You can't be down 48-16 at home early in the fourth quarter of a playoff game against a first-year starting quarterback in Jordan Love.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Heads, I probably, if I was the owner at that point in time, I probably would have fired the head coach. I probably would have and signed some players and brought them in.
Yeah.
Because it's if you take and get the right head coach with the talent that the Cowboys have, you can flip the switch quick. I just go back to my own experience. We got Bill Parcells, and a year later we was in an AFC Championship game.
There you go.
With the same talent. A couple pieces we added, but it was the same core group of guys that took us to AFC Championship game because we got the right coach.
Yeah, I got it.
And maybe that's what they got to do.
Okay, and then you go to Tampa, and it's possible they had the right coach before the coach that you played with.
And he ran out of gas.
Okay, it's possible.
Yeah.
But there are different ways to skin this Super Bowl cat because you can have a pretty good quarterback and maybe the greatest defense ever.
That is correct.
Okay, and you can't have a Keyshawn over here he's going to make some plays for you. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're going to still win with the defense in the end.
Yeah.
Okay. There are all those kind of ways, and I can't make any case for any of this right now to the point where I feel all the pain of those people who aren't out of practice because there's got to be some people who are just saying, you know what, I've seen enough.
I'm sure there are fans that have seen enough to get